Okay, let's talk about this. We all have this idea that to really change your life, you need some huge, dramatic, earth-shattering moment. But what if that's not true? What if the biggest changes don't show up with a loud bang, but instead, they just sneak up on you, one tiny little action at a time? Today, we're going to dig into the small habits that, when you do them over and over, quietly build a whole new reality for you.
I mean, seriously, just think about that for a second. We're all taught to go big or go home, right? The crazy new diet, the super intense workout plan, the radical career change. But let's be honest, how often does it actually work? More often than not, that just leads to burnout, not a breakthrough. The real secret? It's a lot quieter and honestly, a lot more powerful.
And this is the core idea right here. It's not about a revolution, it's about evolution. Think of it like this, it's like compounding interest, but for your life. You do one tiny, almost unnoticeable thing today, and tomorrow, and the next day, and in a year, you look back and you won't even recognize the person you used to be. The results are just that huge.
I absolutely love this phrase, small hinges swing big doors. It just perfectly nails what we're talking about. So instead of throwing an overwhelming list at you, we're going to focus on just a few key areas of your life where these tiny little hinges can create the biggest, most amazing impact.
Just take this one habit, for example. Read 10 pages a day. It sounds like nothing, doesn't it? But if you do that every single day, you've read over 3,600 pages in a year. You know what that is? That's like 12 good-sized books. You're literally downloading a dozen lifetimes of experience and wisdom straight in your brain, all from a quiet 10-minute habit. It's an incredible bargain.
So, where do we start with all this? It all begins with the morning. If you can win the morning, you set yourself up to win the whole day. And listen, this isn't about forcing yourself to wake up at 4 a.m. It's just about starting your day with intention and a sense of control. And look how simple this can be. Just waking up 30 minutes earlier, that gives you breathing room. You're not immediately rushing and stressed out. You're in command. Then, hydrating right away, that fires up your brain and your metabolism. And making your bed, well, that little habit is a special kind of magic.
The psychology here is surprisingly powerful. I know, it sounds so basic, maybe even a little silly, but making your bed is this tiny act of discipline that proves to yourself, first thing, that you can be effective today. You start your day with a task that's already completed. You've created order in your physical world, and that sends a signal straight to your brain, hey, we're in control here, and more order is on the way.
All right, so once you've handled the physical stuff, it's time to prime your mind. Setting 3 tiny goals for the day, I'm talking things like answer that one email or take a 10-minute walk. It makes progress feel totally inevitable. Writing down your biggest main goal just reminds you where you're headed. And yeah, speaking a positive affirmation, it might feel weird at first, but you're basically programming yourself for success before the world gets a chance to program you for stress. Okay, morning is set. Now what? Let's talk about protecting that momentum. Because in our world today, focus is a superpower. It truly is. These next few habits are all about building an impenetrable fortress around your time and your energy. This one right here, it's a total game changer. An absolute classic life hack. You know, replying to that quick email, putting your cup in the dishwasher, taking the trash out. We put these tiny things off, and then they pile up, and suddenly we feel completely overwhelmed. The 2-minute rule, it cuts that off at the knees. It short-circuits procrastination before it even has a chance to start. And for those bigger tasks, this technique will make you feel unstoppable. For 25 minutes, you are a machine. Phone is off, no extra tabs open, just pure, deep focus. Then, and this is key, you get a 5-minute break to totally reset. It kind of gamifies your work, and it keeps your energy incredibly high because you're working with your brain's natural rhythm, not fighting against it. And that brings us to a really crucial habit, learning how to say no. A lot of us think of it as being negative or mean, but it's not. It's a powerful strategic tool. Think about it. Every time you say yes to something you don't really want to do, you're saying no to something that actually matters to you. Saying no is how you protect your energy and make sure you're living by your priorities, not someone else's. Here is another super simple habit with a massive payoff. Just take 5 minutes before you go to bed and decide on your top priorities for tomorrow. That's it. What this does is it eliminates decision fatigue in the morning. When you wake up, your brain already knows the mission. You don't waste that precious morning energy just wondering what to do. You just get up, start executing. Of course, all this focus and planning is totally useless if you're running on empty. You can have the best plan in the world, but if your engine is sputtering, you're not going anywhere. That's why this next set of habits is all about hitting the reset button for your mind and your body.
Think of these as little emergency reset buttons that you can press anytime during the day. Feeling that brain fog roll in, stretch for 2 minutes. Energy crashing, just stand up for 10. Feeling completely overwhelmed and stressed, 5 deep breaths can actually reset your entire nervous system. And stepping outside for a few minutes, that's like free therapy.
And speaking of resets, just look at this. The difference is night and day, literally. This one simple habit of putting your phone away just 30 minutes before bed can radically improve the quality of your sleep. Seriously, try it for 3 nights. You will be amazed at how much better you feel. It's so simple, but the impact is enormous.
We're so careful about curating our social media feeds, right? So why aren't we that careful about curating our own minds? Taking a moment to write down one thing you're grateful for actually trains your brain to look for the positive. Celebrating one small win before bed rewires you for success. And unfollowing people or news sources that just bring negativity, that's just essential mental hygiene. You have to be the guardian of your own mind. And this same principle of intentional awareness applies everywhere, even to your finances. The simple habit of tracking where your money goes. It isn't about being restrictive, it's just about being aware. When you know where your money is going, you automatically start to respect it more. And like the quote says, that respect has a funny way of coming right back to you.
So, as we start to bring all this together, what's the ultimate takeaway? What's the big idea? It's that you do not need to be perfect. In fact, chasing perfection is probably the fastest way to get you to quit. The real goal is so much smaller, and because of that, it's so much more achievable. This single number, this is the key to everything. That's it. Can you just be 1% better today than you were yesterday? Can you read one more page? Walk for one more minute? Say no to one tiny thing that drains your energy? That is all it takes. So forget about being flawless. That's a trap. Instead, celebrate progress. This is the mindset shift that makes real change stick. It makes it sustainable, and dare I say, even enjoyable. This is how these quiet little habits build a truly extraordinary life.
And that brings us to the final and definitely the most important question. Because this isn't just about listening to ideas, it's about doing something. So look back at everything we talked about, making your bed, the 2-minute rule, reading 10 pages. Just pick one. What is the single tiny hinge you're going to install today?